Hi, crafty friends. Mary here. I'm working on a card with some new stamps from Impression Obsession that I just got. I stamped this panel of watercolor paper. It's the the watercolor paper is from it's the brand name Hobby Lobby brand name Master's Touch, and I believe it's the the higher end of their range, the highest end of the Master's Touch. I had one sheet left, so I cut it, but I threw away the packaging, so I can't. I don't remember the weight, but it is the highest of the weights that they offer. The stamps that I used here, and I will explain what this is all about, but let's look at the stamps first. I have three little birds, and they're all by Lindsay Allstorm. I'm probably butchering that name, so I apologize. But they're so cute. And I wanted to get the set. I think there may have been another one, but I ended up just getting these three because I figured that they would go really well together. And they would be super easy to color. And I don't have anything like this in my collection. And they, yeah, they're all, let's see, yeah, there probably here's another one because I have D as in David 12194, D12197, and D12196. So numerically, I don't have 95. So I bet you there's another one that I didn't get in this series. So I stamped them. I stamped the two outer ones and then masked them and stamped the middle one, and masking them was super easy because, in fact, I kept the masks in here. See, here's the mask for this little one. I didn't even have to go really, here's the mask. Since this one was going to be on this side, I didn't mask the legs. Don't worry about the legs. They're just little sticks. So you don't have to go fussy cut them out. And I knew that it wasn't going to touch the top. So I didn't worry about that. I knew it was just going to cover this section. And the same thing for the other one. So, so I combined the little chicks with this embossing folder. And this embossing, not embossing folder, this die, it's the oh, I can't talk. The famed chicken wire. And this is one of Anna's dies. It's smaller than I expected, but it actually, I kind of actually like that it's smaller because now this size here is a card that I did earlier, and the embossing, let me open it up. I keep saying embossing folder, but I mean the die. So the die would, this is 4, but if you make your card 4 1/4 by, your slim card 4 1/4 by 8, then you can definitely cut this out three times. Definitely twice if you go this way. Twice if you go this way. And you can make it a little bit longer. You can make it 8 1/2. Then definitely go 3 times for a really fun, interesting look. And I may do that. But for this, I was thinking that it would be like a chicken coop kind of thing. So my little chickens would be here, and then you could see a window with chicken. And I thought that I can make this even a shaker card. So I can pop this up, and when I first looked at it, after when I had it in my hand, I'm like, I didn't look at it very carefully because it has stitching marks, and the stitching marks are right here. You can see it, really pretty. But I didn't look, like I said, I didn't look at it carefully enough because I didn't think that it had a cutting line. So I thought it was just going to cut into the paper, the stitching lines and the wire, the chicken wire, but not actually cut the whole thing off. So that was a surprise, but that was my fault because I didn't see the cutting line. But no problems. I can work with it because even though it cut out the whole thing, even though it cut the whole thing off, I can still work with it. Take a piece of acetate, which is what I'm going to do, and you mount the whole thing on acetate. So you're going to glue this into acetate, you know, you're going to go glue it, and then you could put your dimensional adhesive, and it doesn't matter that this is not, that is being cut off of this. So don't worry about it. You can still work with it. If it bothers you that this appears to be cut off of it, I'll show you what I'm going to do with it because, like I said, I want it to look like a window. You know, so it actually works really well that it's cut. You could even prop it up with an extra level or layer of dimensional adhesive so that it, you know, pops up and still use the acetate behind it. And when we get to that section, we could see it. Another option is you could take another piece of cardstock. In this case, I would use the same cardstock you stamped the bottom layer. So here's another piece of that same watercolor paper. And what I did was I cut, just with my trimmer, a piece that's like 1/8 of an inch bigger all the way around so that I can use it to, you know, overlap the hole, the cutout window, and then put this on top. So now you're building it up, and so then you can make this your shaker element if you wanted to. So you would, you know, you put acetate on behind here, and then this could be your shaker element, and then you could glue the whole shaker element on top of here if you wanted to. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this my whole shaker element. So, but step number 1 is going to be to watercolor this panel. And I'm going to put this here because I'm going to watercolor the background first. And I want my this window element, I think I want it to be the same as the watercolor, as my background. But I'm not, but I'm I'm thinking now, because if I want, and these are the questions that normally you guys don't see because I make them and I don't share with you my process. If I want this to be a window, maybe this should be brown. And then the other part not. Because I'm going to do the background in a light blue. Well, I'll put this aside and I'll do the light blue and then hold it up and see what happens. I think, no, I'll put it in here and do a light blue. If I don't like the light blue, it's light enough that I could cover it with brown. Yeah, it's light enough that I could cover it with brown. So let's get some watercolors. Let's put some water in here. Bring some blues. And this project, I'm using blue so that this project is for June's hashtag blues in July. So that's why I'm doing a background, the background in blues. From this project and the last project that I did with this paper, I can tell it's not very good quality watercolor paper, so I definitely would not recommend it. I wouldn't say that I'm using I'm not, well, I guess I am using a lot of water. But and I am manipulating the color a lot. I'm going over the area a lot. But I noticed that there were sections in the other project that I did and in this project already over here where there's sections where you can see that the paper feels like it's going to pill pretty easily. I don't know. I mean, I don't know paper that well because I'm not a true watercolorist. I'm a hobbyist. And I really haven't taken the time to study the differences in watercolor paper. And prior to getting any watercolor paper, the library had a watercolor class, and they asked, one of the supplies required was, or requested was some Canson watercolor paper, which I have and I have used, and that seemed a lot better than this paper. I just wanted to use this paper up. And this card, as I was saying, prior to that, I was using mixed media paper because you could use it wet or dry, and it has a very smooth surface. And I like that paper a lot, or that cardstock a lot. It was a good weight cardstock, and it was really my go-to cardstock for a lot of stuff. So I kind of like the amount of color that's on the card right now. So I'm going to let that dry. I think I'm going to do a little bit of green at the very bottom. Or maybe not green, but I don't know. Green? Should I do green, or should I do like a ground cover, like brown? Oh, I think maybe I'll do a dark green. Let's see. Let's do some of this and see what this will add to it. I don't know if I like that. Okay, I'm going to move this little piece over here. Let that dry a little. And then I'm going to work on my chickens. Let me grab a smaller brush. I think I'm going to go with this color for my chickens. Up here, this yellow. So this is what I'm going to do. I flipped it over, and I'm going to do a little section of it in browns and to see what it looks like. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think both would look nice, but I think I'm going to stay with the blue. Yeah, I think I'm going to stay with the blue for right now. So there is my watercolor piece. So initially I thought they were inside the coupe, but I think the way I colored it, they're outside, and they're up against the coupe. So this is the outside. I'm going to pause the video right now and gather my supplies for the next section, the next part of the video, the assembly of the card. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so I got my folded card here, and I got a couple of pieces. This is dry, so I'm going to put this in here. That, and I'm going to take some double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to put it over the seam. And this is the 1/4 inch. And this is so that the acetate will stick to this. And I'm also going to put a little bit of this whiter. Let's go a little higher on this one. There we go. I like this stuff. You could tear it with your fingers, or you don't need a scissors. You can use the scissors if you want, so that you have straighter, straighter, what do you call it? Pieces, like this one. But you definitely don't need it. And I'm definitely overdoing it here. I'm putting more than it needs. I just want to be really conservative that it's going to grab onto all the sides. There we go. And down here. And it actually doesn't need it down there. I just realized, because we're gonna do dimensional adhesive down there, but we'll see. Making sure whatever's on the edge doesn't. Okay. I'm going to do another piece over here, just to make sure that we are looking good. Okie dokie. So now I'm going to take my, what did I put? There it is. My acetate. And I'm going to go this way because, and I'm going to try to go from corner to corner, so that not only because I have adhesive on the whole thing, but also because since it's a watercolor piece, it will give it more support, give the piece more support. And now let's use a different scissors for this. So you see that piece is not going to go anywhere. It's really in there, nice and secure. And I'm burnishing it in there so that all the adhesive is definitely grabbing onto all the sides. There we go. Okay. Now, if you wanted more support, you could put another piece of acetate if you wanted. And I think I may just do it because I put adhesive down there, and since I had added adhesive, it's going to stick, and also just to make it one level. Okay, so now this panel is very secure and very straight. So now this is the piece. It's just a variegated piece of watercolor like paper, pattern paper from my stash, from my scraps stash that I'm going to put behind the panel. So, and it's already cut to an A2 size in height. This was the little piece that I cut out, and I may use that on the inside of the card, but I usually don't do that. I usually don't use pattern paper on the inside. That's something that I got from you guys. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive, extra adhesive over here, because it was the only section that didn't have anything, and since I put it on the rest, I might as well finish it off and make sure that this card, that every part of this card is adhered, or that this panel is completely adhered. There we go. Okay, so that's good there. So now we are going to build our shaker element, right? So that's going to go like this, but it's going to be propped up. Now, if you wanted a white background, you don't have to do it. You don't have to insert this, but I do want that, so I'm going to insert that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these that I haven't used. I've had these in my stash for a long time. So I'm going to put these, and I'm going to make it so that the only part of the shaker is actually inside that that area. So I'm going to start by putting this one piece, come on, against this corner, this far section. It would be the far left of the card. And what I like about these are thicker than my my roll of 3M. You see, this is, I would say this is an 1/8, maybe even a 1/16 of an inch. I would say, yeah, a 1/16, not less than an 1/8. I would say this is more of an, no, I would say that's a quarter. That's a quarter of an inch high. Maybe that's an 1/8. So, and I was going to double the other up. But, so I'm going to do this one too, all the way from the top to the bottom. There we go. So now these middle ones. Remember, you don't want any little gaps so that the shakers don't fall off. And this is really cool because the way I put, and I didn't do this on purpose initially. I didn't plan it out this way, but it worked out really good because this tape, or these are 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch. and they're 1/2 inch. I have 1/2 inch all around. So worked out really, really well. Doesn't always work out that way, but it did today. So let's put that once again really close to there, and then put it together and stick it down. I think that they're down. Stick it down. Okie dokie. Now you can peel all this up. These are a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim them off a little. Where did it go? There we go. There it is. Just trimming the foam that is sticking out. And now I'm going to do the same thing for this. Not as important to be completely completely cover everything. The nice thing is that you can lift it up. You have a little bit of wiggle room because you're working on that acetate that I put down, so it doesn't completely bond to it, so you have a little bit of wiggle room. And that's why I lifted it, so that I could get an extra roll right at the far bottom, so that when you're looking at the car from here, you get a straight bottom. Okay, so now we're going to put some stuff, some cool stuff in there. What should we put in there? I have some yellow stuff. And I have some blue stuff. This yellow mix, I like this yellow mix, but every once in a while it has these little chunky they're the stars, but it's like they weren't actually, you see, they're like still together, so you have to kind of keep an eye on for them and kind of rub them on with your fingers so that they kind of separate. Otherwise they stay together and they're too big for the card. And even though you're going to get some of the little sequence on your tape, I prefer to peel the packaging or the backing off the tape before I put them down, because the few times that I haven't and I've done it after the fact, just pulling the tape off jars all the little stuff inside of it, and they all pop up anyway. So it's really just a matter of getting, you know, resigning yourself to, you're going to have to like pick up these little acetates and kind of put them back in there. Every time you touch the card or jostle the card, some of these little sequins are going to have, they're going to pop up and cause you to wonder why you're working with them. You could use a embossing powder, the anti-static powder, on them, so that they don't have so much static and they don't jump around so much. But I actually don't like to use that because I like the static to remain, so that some of my little sequences kind of float. They float better because of the static. And so, because otherwise all the sequence kind of just drops down to the bottom. So I'm adding some of those blue ones. I want to put more blue in there. These little containers, I've had them for a while. They've, back when, oh, what was the name of that store? Tuesday Morning was around before COVID. They were pretty inexpensive, like $2.99. There's another cluster. Okay, that's good. I'm going to close it up. Now, you can put your backing paper directly on it this way, okay? And then mount it onto your card. If you don't have a backing paper and you just are mounting it directly onto your card, you could bring your card and mount it. But I'm one of those people that I know I've never been able to do that successful, because if I do this, I'm going to get it crooked and I'm going to ruin the whole thing. So I've never been able to do that successfully. So in this case, I can definitely, since this piece of paper is the right length, or you know, this way, since it's this way now, let's say the right width, but not the right height currently, I can eyeball it pretty easily. But if it had been a straight A2 size backing paper, it would have been hard for me to do it. I would have messed it up. So sometimes I will just take another piece of acetate, and I had another piece that I, when I cut it, I can't find it now, but I will take another piece of acetate and put it on the back, and then use whatever backing paper I have without any fear of messing up placement, because once I have closed the shaker card with acetate, I can hold it any way I want to, and I can turn it upside down or right side up and position it any way I want to. But in this case, I think we're good to just bring it down and glue it down. And that's the nice thing about you know, having a backing sheet of paper that's smaller than your shaker, because it's easier to see it and position it down to cover your window, your shaker window. And over here, I'm just going to pull it up a little bit and then cut it off. Because we don't need to see this, or we don't need to see that. And there's still enough adhesive that we don't have to worry about it, but just to be safe, I'm going to put some additional adhesive on it. Now this is definitely getting to be pretty dimensional and pretty, and you know, so if you're mailing this, just you may want to add a little extra postage and put it into either a padded envelope, or put something like "please do not bend," or something like that on the envelope, so that the post office knows to kind of be careful with it, or hand deliver. So now our little shaker element is done, and it's ready to be added to our card. Now let's try not to mess it up at this point, because this is very sticky, and it would not be cool if we mess it up at this point. So, and I did mess it up already, but I'll tell you what I was going to do and I didn't do. I forgot to do, but I will tell you what it is. And it would have been really cool. It would have been really nice. Oh well, next card. Get my fingers out of there. Okay, there's the card in the shaker element. Isn't it cool? I like how the background color has the, the variated watercolor look, and the blue looks really nice, because this die has pretty nice size, a pretty nice size grid, so you can really see your shaker elements. The yellow doesn't really see, you have to look to see your yellow shaker bits, because there's a lot of yellow background, but it goes with the little birdie, so I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with it, yeah. So I was going to actually, in here, on here and here, in between this, in this opening, I was going to actually take a little piece, 2 pieces of ribbon, this ribbon, and I was going to insert that here. So I was going to do a little bit here and a little in one here, so almost like little handles on either side. It would have been really cute, but I completely forgot. I had it in my hand. I had it here because when I took all my supplies to do it, I did it, but there's just, I don't think I could do it now because it's so sealed up. Let me see if I can let's see. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Yeah. Come on, go in. I'm trying to get the one layer to go in. Now I want this side to go in. Yeah, come on, you're doing it. There we go. I'll go down. Nice. Very nice. There, I got it in. Not too bad, right? Now can I do it at around the same place over here? Okie dokie. Very tiny piece of ribbon. Cut it. Insert it. Okay, let's see, can I hopefully should put some glue in there. The other one was so easy to do. Now this one's not. Okay, let's try a bigger piece of ribbon, because that one's not doing it for my. Okay. Okay, this one's tearing the paper up a little bit, but I got it in there. Kind of. There we go. I'm going to let it be for now. It doesn't want to go in as far as the other one did. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone and see what happens. Because it's a little wet. I put some glue in there and it got wet. So I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to tear the paper up. But there, I managed to put the ribbon in there, and I think it looks really cute. Yeah, looks really cute. So now let's see what we can do with this piece of paper. I think I'm gonna use the die. Can this? Yeah, I think it fits. So I'm gonna try this. Let's see. So I think on the inside I can glue that down. And if I had thought about it, I would have backed it with double-sided tape. But I think I'm going to use just this tape that I have here, which is perfect size for the edges. And you don't have to put this much adhesive on it. That's crooked, but it's not coming up. Now we need a die that says like best wishes or something along those lines. What can we use? Where did I put my... Where did I put my die, my best wishes die? Time to clean my desk. It was just here a couple days ago. Well, not a couple days ago. I haven't been in my craft room for over a week. I can't find it. I can't see it. So it's going to have to wait. But I'm going to put a word die here once I find it. But that's my card. My card for blues in July. I think it came out really cute. I really like this. And I'm glad I added the little ribbons, even though I kind of messed up here a little bit. But it worked out. And I was able to do this, you know, stick it kind of under because of the acetate. Because the acetate went from corner all the way to corner. So it wasn't just a little acetate that went here. So it didn't interfere with the shaker. So, yeah, really cute card. That's it. Another card for blues in July. Until next time, take care. Bye.